Today, I'm going to show you guys how I use Adobe Illustrator, After Effects, and coding to help make my MLB 2023 stats overview project possible. It was a really cool personal project that I did to highlight some of the key stats from the 2023 season, such as Ronald Acuña, Shohei Ohtani, the Baltimore Orioles, and some of the retiring greats. And this project is a good example of how you don't have to be a great coder to get After Effects to do some pretty cool things with expressions. And I'm going to break down all the assets that went into making this project possible, so let's get to it. Okay, so I'm going to quickly go over some of the Illustrator assets before we go into After Effects. They're kind of important, but a lot of the meat and potatoes is in After Effects. So let's start with Farewell. This is for Adam Wainwright and Miguel Cabrera, some tributes to them. So I made some custom cards. This is more design oriented because not much is done in After Effects with these, but I sold out their cutouts and then got their statistics in. This is a bit of a pain. I use a bunch of Excel sheets to get the stats all right, and then having this is technically like a hidden table with these numbers. Because to get the alignment was a bit of a pain. But I'm kind of happy with how these came out, and yeah, that's nothing about that. Rookie of the Years, a lot of this was done in Illustrator to avoid having to deal with After Effects creating shapes, but basically I just laid them all out in. Had some cool graphics and games to highlighting some of the stats for each of the rookies, and then highlighting which rookies of the year. Now let's go into some more somber news. So the Yankees missed the playoffs in 2023, but decided to show off some of the teams that were projected to get to the playoffs but didn't. But yeah, you're gonna see how quickly these were like two states almost. So you'll see later. I'm not gonna explain all of it until we get there. This one was a pain as well, trying to get all these numbers in right. This is just like a template thing, and then as it gets transferred over to After Effects, these numbers are all going to move and manipulate like that. A couple more things to show. So we have Ronald Acuña. This one's a more basic thing I had. Highlighting his crazy season. He had 41 home runs, 73 stolen bases. But yeah, nothing much here. Most of the effects are going to be done later on. And then Shohei Ohtani, he got 2 because he's special, because he's got 2 kinds of unique skills, hitting and pitching. But yeah, highlighting some of the cooler stats that he has. And then, yeah, that's it. It's basically a quick overview of some of the Illustrator assets. A lot of this is going to be manipulated in After Effects as we head over there now. So now here we are in After Effects, and I'm going to show you guys how the designs, basically the gist of them, not go too deep because I could probably spend the day just talking about them, but just to get the basic gist of them and how they work and how they're created. So to start, we do have this white wavy background that I love using. I'm going to link the tutorial I use to get its exact effect, but basically using a motion tile and then different like fractal noise adjustments and turbulent displace. But kind of cool thing. It's not that hard to make. Or like how the dots go in and out, and I thought it'd be a nice backdrop, just add a more visual flair to it. So let's get right to it. So we do have Ronald Acuña Jr. Not much has changed from the Illustrator version, but I did add this cool little pixel fire thing that I really enjoy. I use it a couple of times in this project, but basically they just sit on top of the numbers, and we also have the bat fire. It's a little bit different between the two. Let's look at the bat fire real quick. It uses another tutorial I found on YouTube where it's basically a custom fire that I changed to be more pixel-like, and then I have a couple different elements when it came to the yellow flare, or the yellow base, and then the fire for the red. But yeah, it uses a couple things with the particle system, vector blur, displace, mosaic, levels, and then a fill. It was just a lot of different things going into it as I hear my computer fan spinning up. But we do have that, and then we laid it in there, and then we masked it out to fit right along the map. Now we do have the other number fire. I'm going to show it right here. A little bit different. Placed exactly where the numbers would be, just for reference. And then we have a couple different fires, I think different lengths too, but they're a little bit more random. So it's a base red fire, and then we have like these like yellow embers that spark up, and I think it looks really cool having all this flow together. And yeah, that's basically it. So next, let's talk about our rookies for the 2023 year. Not much has changed from the Illustrator file, but there are a couple different cool elements for the motion. So I'm gonna go over Gunnar Henderson. So a lot of different things when it came to the different stat categories, and then we have his name and then team. But these bars are where really we want to focus on. So these are just basically they're following each other. So we have the bar itself, and we have the stat ranking, and then we have his actual stat was. So this is average. These three are coming out from the bottom, and it's all following the bar itself. So it's hidden right here, and then as a track matted, and I believe there's like there's like a shape right here. I think that's like holding everything together. But yeah, as it comes up, it passes the threshold, and then they're all gonna pop up. Now, they all come up at the same time, so there's no like timing differences between all of them. So once you make one of them, I made all of them. There's a couple different instances where this happens where I just need to make one instance of this, and I just basically just copy and paste the different numbers in, and it was pretty easy from there. So next we have the two players that retired after that season, Miguel Cabrera and Wainwright. Basically just took the picture or the custom cards I made for them, and then I just threw them in After Effects, and then made them 3D objects so they can spin around in a 3D space. Nothing crazy with this one, they're just spinning around. I had some other plans to make it a little more interactive, but I thought this was just fine. There's a lot more complex things as we're quickly going to learn. So now we have this design where it shows off some of the projected teams that were supposed to make the playoffs, like my New York Yankees, and they felt ultimately a little bit short. So this one's the first instance where we use the slider control to really manipulate the values, because there's technically two, maybe 3 states I would say. So we have the first state where nothing has popped up, and then as we move into the first state, they're all going to get their numbers. So they're slowly going to get them over time. You don't really see it too well. The opacity is pretty low too, but you see how they go. They'll increase over time. They'll stay there for a little bit, and then when they hit their trigger point, they're going to go down in value to zeros for playoffs, and then their poor records. So let's show off the bars. So we're gonna look at this right here. So again, using the slider control to set its values. So this one is for the St. Louis Cardinals. So they start off at 70 losses. That was their projected. And then when it hits this point in time, it's gonna go technically up to 91. But yeah, this is where the values will change. And then they're all technically following the bar, I believe, or actually I guess the controller. So that's how they're all moving in unison. And then it's the same thing with the wins, the little dash. I was a little upset. I had to like separate these out it was a little too complex to get this as one text layer, so I had to divide it up. I believe the playoff odds too. Oh yes, that's not the same as well. Yeah. This was, yeah. When you're manipulating numbers, I found that it was a little bit hard to keep everything intact, so these had to be separated. But yeah, I was happy with the final results, because once you do one of them, they're all the same. Just different timings with this one. The rookies one was a little bit different because they all came at once, but this one's more like one at a time. But nothing too much more to say about that other than my Yankees not making the playoffs, but yeah. So next we have Shohei Ohtani. Now he does have 2 slides for himself, and this one is probably the most graphic intensive on for this project. So we have his stats right here for hitting, home runs, hits, RBIs, average, OPS, and WAR. Now these are base, so right now these are blue, but they are track matted to have this fire that goes over the numbers, and we're gonna play it out right here. So they start off as blue, but then the fire is quickly gonna engulf them, and then it's gonna be this effect where not fully covered, but it shows the fire fizzling out and like embers showing. That's what the exact look I was trying to go for, and I was really happy with how that came out. So if we go into the fire, it's a little bit different than we looked at before. So this is where the base of it is. Again, same particle system effects. Probably manipulate a little bit more because we had to have the spread out for each of the 3 rows that we have right here. 1, 2, 3. But yeah, they are gonna go up as well. That's also a little bit hard because I had to like get them to like move up as a fire, not just like be there right from the start. But yeah, got the embers going. I believe these are slightly different maybe, but yeah, I was happy with this. It took a bit to get the exact kind of look I was going for when it came to the rise effect for the fire. Also the bat fire, a little bit similar to Acuña's, but it has a little bit blue in there as well. And yeah, I like the three color piece, and yeah, pretty similar to Acuña's. Now we're gonna look at his pitching next. So it's pretty similar when it came to the fire rising and everything. I think it just flipped around. The only thing different with this pitching slide is that it's more of a circle where it comes the fire out of his glove. So let's look at that. More like a ball. So I had to manipulate the shape to be more circular, and also had to flow right when it came to the different proportions between the blue, the red, and the yellow. But yeah, I really liked how this one came out as well. I think it fits with like the flamethrower kind of thing because he throws pretty fast as well. But yeah, pretty similar to the hitting. Only thing real different is the pitching glove on fire. So this is probably the most complex slide within this project. It involves a lot of different coding aspects, and I'm still surprised that worked. So we're gonna see as I'm gonna explain this. This highlights the Baltimore Orioles within a 3-year period, how they were doing. So in 2021, they weren't doing too well. 2022, they got some momentum, and 2023. Now to show off this, I have the standings for each of the years, and then they all switch obviously because they're never all the same. To get all these numbers to basically work with basically almost 3 kind of states for each year. So you have 21, 22, and 23, and I had them all switching around, as well as their team rankings. This one wasn't that hard, but this one involved a lot of different elements, and I'm going to show you guys how I went about that. So I used ChatGPT and basically vibe coded my way into this. I described a situation when it came to what I wanted. I basically just want the numbers to switch around. So slider control was used in this, but it's a little bit harder when it came to the different values. So what I used slider control was to basically set different areas that I was looking for. So basically the percentage is looking for if it's between 0 and 33.33, between 33 and 66, and 66 and 100. And if it's in between those values, it's basically going up until it hits that second target. So we see right here, the rays are going to start at 617. Click off right here, see a little better. Then it's going to go to 531 for its win percentage, and then it's going to go to 700, or it's going to go to 611, sorry. Like that. And we have that set. So basically it's trying to hit different targets. And the slider control is basically telling when the code's being activated. So yeah, I'm not the greatest coder, but I did enough to get by. And it's keeping its percentage points, or I guess the different slots. But yeah, that's how that worked. And then all the numbers are pretty similar as well. I guess I got this one to work too. Let me look at this. Damn, I'm surprised I got this. because in the playoff contenders I didn't get this was all divided. Interesting. I know I did this toward the end. This probably took this is like the last thing I did on this project, but I guess it's kind of cool. I got the dash to stay in the same. But yeah, this one, yeah, the different ranges. And then it's basically targeting different numbers based on the values I tell it. But yeah, that's kind of cool. So let's get out of that. Basically just copy and paste for all of these, depending on what the values were that I was trying to go for. So with each team, they're obviously switching spots in their division. So I had to have the different numbers go up and down depending on that. And then they're switching by year. Poor Boston, didn't even change. But yeah, the numbers change based on year. Team rankings, a little bit easier, I think. I kept this in the same column. I really should have split this off into a pre-comp, but different values to start and then the middle. I think this is leftover code. I think I forgot to delete this. This shouldn't have this value 3 because it's only 3 years, 21, 22, and 23. I think it's my bad. But yeah, similar thing when it comes to the different targets, and then once it finishes off, it just stays where it is. I don't know if I did the best job explaining that. It's a little confusing to me still, but I did enough to really get by, and I'm happy how this turned out overall. So I hope you guys learned a thing or two about how I created this project, and most importantly, trying different things within After Effects such as coding. I know it's a little daunting to use JavaScript in After Effects, but once you get the hang of it, it's a really good resource to use. And I had a ton of fun making this project, so if you guys liked the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. So I'll see you guys in the next one.